And even just dealing with individuals on a personal level, we understand they have traumas, but we don't personally know how to deal with it because that's not something that's at the top of our mind. We just write people off and be like, oh, this person is this. We label them that. But you have really dialed in and understand, look, I know what we're up against. I know what we're dealing with. Like, how do you translate that to the rest of your leaders?
The best way that I can say is we have.
Peace, family. Will Roundtree here on the Full-Time CEO podcast, The Shit They Don't Tell You, where we interview influential individuals, businessmen, businesswomen, moguls, entrepreneurs, and legends. Now, look, y'all, I know I've been using the term legend a lot, but this individual right here, we definitely going to go ahead and speak this into existence. I think he's going to go down in history, for some of the things, the many things that not only he's doing in his own hometown, but, for what he's doing globally. Now a lot of us have come up in neighborhoods where, we've idolized the D-boys, the gangsters, the pimps, and all of those. But I think it was more so we glorified we idolized the lifestyle that they lived. But as I've gotten older, I think a lot of that glorification has done nothing but a detriment to our neighborhoods, because now our youth can't decipher the lifestyle from what's real and what's fake. We're out here in a lot of our communities and neighborhoods living recklessly, and they think it's cool. I'm from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and they have an organization called, well, not an organization. They have a gang of kids called the Kia Boys, which are a group of like 10 to 14-year-olds that go around and steal Kia cars and drive reckless, and their whole goal is to smack the car into somebody else. Like, wow. we have to understand like what's taking place, and we have people in our neighborhoods that we grew up in holding the community hostage. And it's organizations like my good brother Zeek has started New Era Community Connection, which is designed exclusively to connect and develop urban communities worldwide through original mudroot concepts, direct outreach, hands-on community programming. They do everything from self-defense classes, teach financial literacy, feed the homeless, provide backpacks, and they protect the neighborhoods. Let somebody run up in one of their neighborhoods and one of the elders, or harm one of the children, or have a store taking advantage of the neighborhood. If you're in Detroit or in any one of the cities where they have a chapter, you will see my good brother Zeek pull up with about 10,000 brothers strong, armed. They know the law, and they really studied, and he really takes it serious. This ain't no gimmick. He don't do this for social media. He really about that life. And I had a pleasure to meet this brother about 3-4 years ago. And ever since then, like, we've just always stayed in touch, even if it's just, yo, bro, I'm in your city, man. Let's break some bread. And so I've always appreciated about this brother. He's always been genuine. And so I want to introduce to some, and for those who are already familiar with them, I want to introduce my good friend, my brother, the founder and CEO of New Era, Zeek. What's going on, brother, man?
My brother Will, what's going on, man? How you feeling?
Man, I'm doing incredible, man. And again, like, it's definitely genuine about, what I mentioned about you. And I've had an opportunity to kind of watch you guys from afar. But like, even the few times I've come to Detroit, like, and not saying that I'm coming there looking for something, but it always just feels good to know that there's a presence who wants to make sure that I'm good anytime I do come to Detroit. And so, yeah, man, and definitely, like I say, your presence has been felt globally now. I mean, the fact that you had this idea, and you and I had a chance to, really just sit down and briefly talk about, the conception of putting this organization together, but to see it spread globally, man, that gotta feel good, man.
Yeah, man. It's a lot of work, man. I always tell people one of the hardest things to do, in general, is just to organize, and then organize Black people is the cherry on top, man. I definitely do it for the people. I do it for the culture. But, in organizing our people, you have to have a certain level of patience, and you have to have an understanding of the trauma as well that we've been through, and some of the reasons we haven't got to organizational position to where, we make organization a lifestyle. So essentially that's what we are as an organization, and what we bring to communities is organization and making it a lifestyle. So I always tell people when we talk about our, doing stuff for the community, it's become kind of cliche, right? So, people want to throw events, and we become real eventful as people, and we do events and we say, okay, well, we doing something for the community, we giving back. And, sometimes I don't even like to utilize the word giving back because, it doesn't have standing power. And what I mean by that is, what is the outcome, the effective long-term outcome of a lot of the give backs and things of that nature if we're not going to go back? You feel me? So, coming and doing events once and then leaving and then coming back a whole year later, it hasn't done our communities, much good. So even when we talk about the concept in which we created for our foundation, the Mud Roots concept, that came off of understanding, our identity, understanding that, okay, we're not really activists. We're not really grassroots organizers. This has to be something different because what we're doing hasn't been done before on a consistent basis. So when we talk about organizing, I mean from January to December, we working and making sure that we have a certain level of programming in our community, that is going to directly affect and impact, the hoods and the ghettos of America. I always tell people we utilize the word community extremely loosely, right? So it's community, but like, let's be honest. If we're not doing it for the streets and when I talk community, is always hoods and ghettos of America, because that's truly the pocket that we have to focus on. So when we came up with the concept, Mud Roots, it was strictly that. It's like understanding, okay, this is deeper than grassroots. What have grassroots done for Black communities over the past 5 decades? And you start to look and you realize not much, because it's always surface stuff. And it seems like people that's doing grassroots work never can really get down to the meat potatoes in the community, either don't know how to connect to the streets, or don't have it in them to connect to the streets. So for us, man, it's just making sure that we put something in place for the streets, organization and structure. Once again, I always tell people there are hundreds of thousands of Black organizations across the country. And until we came around, our thing is when we came around, we really wanted to truly define what organization looks like in Black communities. So, once again, what does it look like to organize on a day in and a day out basis and make it a lifestyle? So essentially that's who we are as an organization. That's our foundation, and that's what keeps us moving, as a unit.
No, absolutely, man. And that's powerful. And I like how you identify, look, no, we focus on the hoods because that's where the presence is needed the most. And so let's start at the beginning a little bit, Zeek. Like, how did someone, how did you sit back and like, I have to do something? Because I think a lot of times, inherently a lot of people want to do something, but then bring the idea to fruition with some friends, some family members. Nobody does nothing. So then we kind of just sit back and be like, nobody wants to help. Like, how did you get the fortitude to say, you know what, I don't care who's a part of this. This is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to focus on.
When you look at any successful person, you look at what every successful person have in common. One of the things that successful people have in common is drive, right? Consistency and intent. So you have to have a drive in what you want to do. And your drive is really, regardless of who in the car with me, we in motion. So that's essentially what drive is. It's like, I got to look myself in the mirror and say that I'm going to get this vehicle to the direction that it needs to be in, regardless of who riding with. And then consistency is being able to say that, okay, regardless of who ride with me. Yeah, we in drive when the car, start to run out of gas, or, the check engine light come on, and you got all of these different issues, and, you get pulled over, whatever you may encounter while you on that road, to understand that no matter what, we going to stay consistent. So we going to make sure that no matter what, the vehicle's going to continue to move. We got to stay consistent, and we got to keep it pushing. And then intent is just the cherry on top, because you when you talk about, passion, and that's what it is for me, it's become a passion. I started out just wanting to do something. And from that something, I grew to love and understand what I was doing. See, I didn't know exactly what I was doing when I first started, but I wanted to do something. But I had to drive, and I added that with consistency, and then leveling that off with intent. So being intentional about what we're doing here, and the reason that we are keeping the vehicle moving in the right direction, that's a big thing. So, for me, it's just, in this work, I always tell people this type of work is revolving door work. So people going to come and go. You know what I mean? You're going to see people, they're going to give you, some people going to give you a good solid 6 months. Some people going to give you a good solid year. Some people may give you longer. But you got to understand, man, that, we got to make sure that we keep it. It's been plenty of times to where I done been through so many people, so many different, groups of people in all my chapters, in and out, man. But, understanding that the direction that we going in, and understanding that this is revolving door work, that was the hardest thing that I had to understand in this work, man. It's just, you get used to people. It's almost like a teacher, a high school teacher, right? You got, the people who you in school with, or your students, and you got them for 4 years, and after that, they gone, and you got to accept that. So, understanding that this is revolving door work and ain't for everybody. And also, this is a newer concept. So consistent work in our community is a newer concept. It's not, once again, our people is so, used to organizations throwing 5 or 6 events a year and saying, okay, this is what we do, opposed to every single week we got something going on. And, sometimes that work can be a bit overwhelming, but we, develop strategies and systems in place to kind of help carry it so it don't feel so overwhelming. But, it is, man. So, we put ourselves in a position to just understand that. And, myself personally, everything starts from the top. So, I carry that energy and I pass that along to, all the rest of the leaders in my organization. And it's, we tell everybody is leaders here. You feel me? We don't have one of these organizations where it's some sort of hierarchy. It's not about Zeek. A lot of people don't even know my name half the time. They just know, oh, New Era, right? And that's what it is. It's not about, a particular name. And I feel like in leadership, in the Black community, typically, it's always about a name. So everybody always looking for one individual person to step up and stand out. And for us, it's about creating a system, right? Even when you think about all the leaders of the past, I feel like one of the things that wasn't done correctly in leadership, with all the great leadership that we've had in the past, is creating an effective system that's going to outlive the individual, and not making it so much about an individual, but about the system, about the community, about the people, and about the package. So, we just trying to really build something different here that's going to be effective, and just understand it's not going to happen overnight, but just making sure that we make the necessary, the necessary changes so that we can be effective.
Right. No, I love that, man. And before we go into like some of the programs and systems you guys have in place, you mentioned something earlier at the top when you talked about understanding the traumas that a lot of us come from. And I think that's been the systematic reasoning for a lot of the things that happen in our communities. And so how do you deal with things that, that people do that's a direct reflection of the traumas that our ancestors have dealt with, whether it's, understanding drugs or behavioral issues or dealing with mental depression and all of these different things that not only has impacted our community, but individuals may not have the resources They don't know where to turn. And even just dealing with individuals on a personal level, we understand they have traumas, but we don't personally know how to deal with it because that's not something that's at the top of our mind. We just write people off and be like, oh, this person is this. We label them that. But you have really dialed in and understand, look, I know what we're up against. I know what we're dealing with. Like, how do you translate that to the rest of your leaders?
The best way that I can say is we have to be students of life, first and foremost, and whatever it is that we do. And in our line of work, we have to be students of life, but we also have to understand the study of people as well, and the study of our people. So in doing this work, and I didn't even realize it till maybe 5 or 6 years in, and understanding like, wow, all this moving around we do, all of these programs that we create, and all of this people-to-people contact and interaction that we're doing, I'm actually able to learn my people a lot better. So if I'm able to learn, the traumas and the hurts of people, and, understand the past and which we came, and understand and have a direct correlation of those things to how we move in today's time, and then look at that and work around that. So it's not so much, I'll tell you, for instance, it's just like, the younger generation, and a lot of the stuff that go on with the younger generation, people are point fingers at the youth, opposed to saying, okay, let me understand. I was young before we did some crazy stuff. It may not have looked like this, and it may not have been this crazy, but okay, this is the reason why we moved this way in my era. This is the reason why kids in this era is moving a certain type of way. Okay, let me dissect that. Now let's go back to the lab. Now let's look at our programs. Okay, well, how can we create programs that's going to directly impact the way that we think? So, a lot of our work is I tell people is focused in on the basics. So, the way that we move as people throughout our community, the mindset, being on code, morals, ethics, respect, things that people look over, but it's really the driving force in our communities. When we talk about anything that we do, I always tell people, like, for us to have a code, every nationality in America is on code in a certain type of way. Even if they don't agree with each other, there's still a level of code that they follow by in their communities. It's ethics, it's morals, it's, respect. So, we big on the babies, right? Will, you hear me talk a lot about making sure that we protect kids in our community.
Absolutely.
This is a code that most nationalities in this country, they stand on this. You can't go in anybody's community. I don't care if white, Hispanic, Arabic. I don't care. You can't go in nobody's community and kill kids and not be held accountable for that. And what that essentially is like, okay, we're on code. Somebody come in our community, or the kid is murdered in our community, you're going to suffer the consequence. Somebody is going to be held accountable. And we see a lot in Black communities, kids dying, getting shot and killed left and right. People going on with their day-to-day lives. It's not a big deal, right? Yeah, it happens all the time. And that's a problem. You know what I mean? Like, these are babies. So, if we can't do something as simple as making sure that, I don't care what gang beefs is going on, who don't like who, or whatever the case may be, but leave the babies out of it. These are simple things that people try to work with up here. That's why, we talk mud roots. So we got to get down to the bottom. Like, we can't be up here with all of our solutions to problems. Some of the solutions are built and engraved, in the ground and in the mud, and really working on those things. So, just having that understanding, man, of us in general, and being able to study our people, and really understand who we are, what we've been through, and then have a realistic, vision for the future of Black communities. So, I would say that's something that kind of push us through, and helps deal with a lot of that trauma, and things from the past.
Yeah. Now, do you guys ever get people that reach out to you guys for protection, whether it's particular neighborhoods, blocks, families? Hey, this family is dealing with maybe a street situation or scenario where they may be getting extorted or some gang beef or anything like that. Like, how do you guys deal with those type of things, whether it's from a request? Because I know you guys do your outreach where you
Mhm.
see stories taking place, someone harms a baby and all of that. But do you guys get requests from people to come in and help to mediate situations?
Man, all the time, bro. All the time. I tell people our inboxes are full with people who want help. And I always tell people it's like I always equate it to when they put the signal out for bat.
Right.
I told like we dang near need a symbol for us because like that's really what people look at us as. They like okay, well, if we can't go to this, we can't go to the police, or we can't go here or there. We gonna definitely hit up New Era Detroit. So, yeah, we get a lot of that. Will I'm not gonna lie, man. And the hard part is some things is out of our control. But we try to help out as many people as we possibly can, man. And that's one thing that the people do know. We'll do our best to help out, anybody that come our way, send them resources or send them something. If we can't particularly help out with a situation, we have resources and connections to other people that may be able to help out. So, yeah, man, we definitely get that a lot.
Right. Do you guys get support from like local law enforcement and any political support or anything like that?
So, support, I would say would be the wrong word, but respect,
Okay.
absolutely. You
Okay.
feel me? And that's what essentially it's about is, we had to go through a lot to earn our respect out here, in communities because, let's be honest, man, we talking about leveling up the whole culture, of Black communities in which, is $1 trillion industry to keep us docile, keep us doing certain things, keep us moving in the manner that we in. So, for the establishment to help out, they can only help out so much. And, what type of real support do we want from the police? We just want to be respected, man, respected enough so that people, hey, I'm going to let them do what they do. We going to stay out their way. And if needed, we on standby type of situation. So, it's the support, the only support that we need, I always tell people, is from people in the streets, man. Like, people who put themselves in a position to where they I hate to say make it out, because I just hate that, man. I feel like it's too much of that in our community. Make it out when we should be making it within where we are, because this is one of the reasons that a lot of Black cities become gentrified. Of course, the establishment pushes gentrification, but we help out too as well, because the smartest and the brightest of our people, as soon as they get an understanding or get a bag or get whatever, they out of here. You feel me? And it ain't no looking back. So, for me, it's really just making sure that, we able to put ourselves in a position of respect, man, and be people of respect out here, because, once you have respect, all the rest of those things fall in place. And, you got to be able to practice what you preach. Is not something, respect is not nothing that people just pass out these days. You got to really be able to earn respect from our people in our community. And we have done more than our share of things to prove to our people, that we hold ourselves accountable, and we demand accountability on all fronts.
No, I love that, man. And with that being said, and like you say, getting the respect from the people in the community is really what the validation you guys are more looking for. Talk a little bit about some of the programs that you guys offer, because even just thinking about, when I go back to Milwaukee, that like the main reason I go back to Milwaukee, my hometown, is because that's where I'm from. And I want to be able to pour back into where I came from, whether it's through the information, whether it's through resources, whether it's through access to my network, and really bringing people there to be able to say, hey, Will is still amongst us. And like you say, not just saying, hey, I'm up out of here. Even though I'm across the country, I still go back often, and people respect that. And so, but one of the things I do also understand is that there is a lack of things to do. This is why a lot of the times the trauma gets re-triggered, because people are just bored. The kids are bored. They getting rid of after school activities. They don't have summer school anymore. Like, it's a lot of things that have been stripped from our neighborhood. So talk about some of the programs and the facilities and different things that you guys do to be able to help within the community, whether it's from financial literacy, whether it's sports. Like I say, I really love the self defense training that you guys offer, if that's something you guys still do. So talk a little bit about some of those things.
Yeah, man, we definitely still do the self-defense. That's a monthly program. But just like you said, man, it's just, and this is not just a Milwaukee problem. Well, this is everywhere, man. It's
like, no, real talk.
Like, people don't have much to do. So when you idle, when the mind is idle, you allow time for all the different type of foolishness to intercept, man. And I always tell people this. So this year, with our Hood to Hood program, our Hood to Hood program is one of our core programs. It is our community resource engagement and cleanup program. So we're actually about to be on our 100th hood here in the city of Detroit, which is huge for us, man. I don't know anybody anywhere who hit 100 hoods in their own city.
Period.
And when I say hit, being able to service 100 hoods within a city, that's huge. But within this program, this year we kicked off a Safe Summer campaign for the kids, right? And we tied it into our Hood to Hood program. So our thing is making sure that we get the kids something to do, making sure that we put emphasis on the kids in Detroit. Big problem with kids being shot, like a lot of major Black cities. Kids get caught in these crossfires, and it's just a lot going on. So our thing is just giving kids, the opportunity to be kids, right, all summer. So with our Hood to Hood program, we go to different communities, and this is something that we do all over the world, really. And we pick a different community and we focus in on that community, particularly particular resources, that's allocated to certain communities. We make sure that the communities get these resources, but we have toys too. So we do Toys in the Hood every single week. So we on our 12th week of Toys in the Hood. And what we do is every single weekend we get out, we buy a bunch of recreational toys, right? So basketballs, footballs, jump ropes, hula hoops, water toys, a bunch of active toys, and we go through different neighborhoods, and all summer we passing out footballs, basketball, throwing it to them. We stand there and we playing catch. We shooting around with them. The sisters of the org, they doing a jump rope with the girls in the hula hoops, and we filling the water toys up, and we just having a good time with the kids throughout the summer. And once again, let's go back to our people and the way that we're so eventful. I always tell people, you see people doing stuff for the community on maybe 4 occasions out the year, but particularly 3. So right now is one of them. Everybody's gearing up to give backpacks, right? So this is a big thing, the backpack drives. And I'm just like, we're going to wait till the end of summer to do something for kids. We're going to force kids to get these kids backpacks to go back to school. We ain't did shit for the kids all year. You feel
right.
Now, the whole summer, the kids been out of school. You ain't dropped down in nothing, but we about to do backpacks. And it's something everybody do, nationwide. Backpack giveaways. It's just infamous. And then from backpack giveaways, then we lead into Thanksgiving. Now, everybody want to pass out turkey. So that's the next giveaway thing that everybody do in communities. Oh, Turkey Day. This is the only day that we want to give away food is on this day. And then we go to the last one of the year. It's Christmas. Now people want to give kids toys. It's December in most cities. it's not like down there in Vegas, man. Most cities, it get cold down there in Vegas too. And it's pretty cold.
Yeah,
but most cities, just think about the time of the year that Christmas is on, and and when people want to do that, it's cold. Kids not playing out like that. We giving all of these toys for what? They're not gonna even play with them until the weather break. So it's just like we gotta break out of that mindset of just doing stuff just to make ourselves feel good. Because let's be honest with you. Let's be honest with ourselves, man. People do a lot of this stuff just to say that they doing something, right? But it is for the community. And it's just like, come on, bro. Like what, and I'm not trying to kick and not, I definitely respect anybody that's doing something good for our people in our community, but we got to break out that shell of just regular, traditional, man, because we're not traditional people in that sense. You feel me? Our people and our kids in particular need a lot more love, caring, and encouragement. If we really want to see kids, take stuff to the next level, we got to be a bit more consistent. So when talking about programs has to be something that is happening consistently. And in order for it to catch on, even when we talk about TV programs, if people come out, okay, we doing this on this day. It's season 1. It's season 2. We right back at it. Season 3 or whatever the case may be. Programming has to have a level of consistency. So with all of our programs, just like that. That was just one. Just like you said, financial literacy, mental health programs. One of our newer programs, which is going to be like one of our staple programs, and then we're actually building a center around this program, is conflict resolution. A huge program.
I like that.
Us as an organization and as a people, when we talk about a lot of crime and violence that go on in our community, a lot of people just try to shift it to mental health. And a lot of it is mental health, but some of it is mental health, but a lot of it is conflict resolution. People not understanding how to resolve conflict. And conflict resolution is a problem in our community in all ages. You could take them all the way down to babies, all the way up to adults. Us not being able to resolve conflicts leads to a lot of these senseless out in our communities, and a lot of brothers and sisters being locked up. So conflict resolution, our conflict resolution program is huge. Of course, we got our mentor program, Elite Young Kings and Elite Young Queens. For the young sisters, we do a lot of work in the spaces of health and wellness. That's where I'm headed to right now. We got a health and wellness program right after I get off the line, where we doing cooking classes with kids and just teaching them how to cook a bit more. So we do different stuff, in that arena. We have Buy Black tours where we help support different Black businesses. Kind of help out in that customer service area that a lot of Black businesses kind of suffer in, the customer support and bringing people to these businesses, exposure, all the rest of this different stuff. We had summer intern programs. This year, actually, we're working on a project to where we're bringing kids to actually help fix houses from the ground up. I feel like this is something that we can work on too. We'll talk about this later too, Will. Taking kids and helping them, in the arena of trades, and sitting them down and, building some of these properties up from the ground up. That's something that we help do here as well. And we just got a lot of different programs, man. We got programs that fit in every arena. We got 16 different programs that we run around the country all year round. We got 2 national safety initiatives, to help combat against human trafficking and child abduction, and things of that nature. So we're actually working on a lot of dope stuff. We actually are in the later stages of this app that we're developing for our safe zones, which is going to be a huge game changer when we talk about abductions and things of that nature. So, man, we working, bro. We definitely working. We got a lot of programs. I always tell people if anybody want to check us out or go through any of our programs, on our website, newerworld.work. And you can find, pretty much anything about our programs and about us too on there.
Man, no, I love it, Zeke, man. And like I say, and as we wrap up, I just always appreciate, just the level of sacrifice you're willing to take on, because I know, even just the part I play in helping with the infrastructure of our communities. I can only imagine, you getting those calls at 3 in the morning because a kid just got killed. And so just you being able to selfishly, give yourself your time, your resources, your family, and do all of that because of the passion that you have, not only just for your community, but for all of the hoods and the ghettos across the world, man. So, I definitely tip my hat, as I've told you 1,000 times, and you've always reciprocated. Any way I could be of servant to you and your organization, man, I'm always a phone call away, man. So definitely, man. And as we wrap up, man, just let people know how they can find you and all of that stuff online.
Yep. So we New Era Detroit pretty much on all platforms. All you got to do is type in New Era Detroit, and anything will pop up. I would ask people. I would just ask anybody. They don't have to be with New Era, but just get with an organization. You know what I mean? Make sure you attach to an organization. We have to become more organized as people if we really want to see, realistic change in our communities. We have to be organized. And that organization that you are part of, make sure that you holding them accountable for consistency, and holding them accountable for intent, because we got to make sure that we moving. But I will always tell people, I'm not just saying this because it's my organization, but truly we have definitely one of the greatest organizations in our era, because of the connection to the people, the connection to the community, the respect that the foundation is built on. And just the family environment that we've been able to create within our organization nationwide. We're very hands-on. I've already been to 11 cities in these short 7 months that we've had through half of the year. So I've been to 11 of our different chapters. I'm extremely hands-on with the work and with people who looking to build chapters that in cities that we're not in yet. But I just really want people to take organization serious. If you're one of those people who really want to see our communities develop, and not just singular success, because there's a lot of that in our communities, right? It's a lot of one successful person, It's a lot of singular success spread it out. But we truly, I always say, like, what does that mean if we still got hoods and ghettos in the same, conditions as they were 40 years ago? If we still got hoods and ghettos across America, how successful are we as people? So organization is key, man. Just being able to be attached to an organization, and understand the level of power that organization holds within our communities, man. And just, everybody get active. We can all look ourselves in the mirror and say that, look, we can do a bit more. Yeah, man. I'm gonna sacrifice going out for this hour, and I'm gonna take that hour and put it back in the community with my people. We got to make sure that we put ourselves in a position to understand that, nothing great comes without sacrifice. And one of the things that we truly got to sacrifice as people is our time and commitment to our people out in our community. So I would just say that, and thank you as always, Will, man. Since day one, we've been locked in, man. And like you say, when you come to the D, you ain't never got to worry about nothing, man. And I just appreciate you for showing love every time that I come down there in Vegas. I'll be down there again in a couple of months to rap about that. But I just appreciate you, brother. Thank you for in your space on your podcast, man, and just keep doing the work that you've been doing, bro. I've been seeing you. Your level up, King. Just keep going, man. I'm a huge supporter of everything that you got going on. Just keep pushing the envelope, brother.
Oh, man, there's definitely more in store, man, and I know it's more for us to collab on. So y'all heard my good brother Zeek, man. Make sure y'all organize, sacrifice a little bit of time, and show love back to no matter what community you're in, that you're a part of. Just let the people know that you care. So as we wrap up, I appreciate you tuning in on the Full-Time CEO podcast, the shit they don't tell you. And as I told you, I got to interview the legend in the making, my good friend and my brother Zeek. So until then, I need y'all to continue to like, share, comment, follow on all your favorite social media platforms, as well as your favorite podcast platform. And until then, I will see you at the top. Peace.